What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zamboni. I am an herbalist and astrologer here in New York City. It is time to talk about the week ahead in astrology. So be sure to follow me here on Instagram and check out my Patreon as well. So here on Instagram, I do daily forecasts where you can see, get a blow by blow of what's going to be going on this week. And then Patreon, I work much more with how to work with things and how to sort of use practical magic in the timing that's available and flourish your best that way. So check me out on both of these platforms. So let's talk about the week ahead. So it is a big one. We really have big things going down this week. So the main thing that is going on this week is Mars square to Saturn. We've got Mars in Aries, and it is square to Saturn in Capricorn. Now, I've been talking about this for a long time, and this has been building for a while, right? So Mars has been in Aries for a couple months now. It's been since late June since Mars went into Aries, and then Saturn went back into Capricorn at around the same time. And so this has been building for this whole 2-month period or so. And so that it perfects this week doesn't mean that the Mars-Saturn dynamic is sort of exclusive to this week or exclusive to the one day where this aspect perfects. This has been going on for a long time, and it is going to go on for a long time further from here. Because what's going on is Mars is slowing down. So Mars is going to station retrograde at the end of Aries pretty soon. That's going to happen in September. That's going to happen in the beginning of September. And so then Mars is going to come back and is going to square Saturn for a second time. And then later on, this is going to be in January of next year, then Mars is going to come back and square Saturn a third time. And so really for the rest of the year is what we're looking at, this like sort of Mars square Saturn in Capricorn situation. We've also got Pluto in the dynamic here, and Jupiter to a lesser extent as well. And so because this is such a long-term situation, it's definitely not going to just be right now. You are likely already feeling the Mars-Saturn dynamic. So Mars in Aries wants to move. It wants to do stuff. It wants to light matches, light fires, get things moving, right? Aries, think about Aries as being the first sign of the zodiac. There's something strong here about initiation and beginnings. There's something here about independence. There's something about valor and courage. There is something here that is a little bit brazen. There's something that is irritable. It's ragey sometimes. All of these kinds of things. And then that is in direct conflict with Saturn and Capricorn. Saturn and Capricorn is our authority figure. It's the old traditional way of doing things. It is, if there was ever an iron fist, then Saturn in Capricorn would be that one, right? It is heavyweight. It takes a long time to get moving. It doesn't want to move at all. It wants to stay still. It wants to be static. And so Saturn in Capricorn is in a superior position over Mars in Aries, which is to say that Saturn in Capricorn is earlier in zodiacal order than Mars in Aries is, and so has a tactical advantage. It's like Saturn is up on a hill, has the high ground against Mars in Aries, who might have a lot of strength and valor and courage and drive and verve and gusto and fire and all the things that it takes to go out and win a battle. But from the inferior position, which is to say like from the lower point on the hill, then it's an uphill battle. And so Mars in Aries is going to have a bit of a rough time last week. And for the last couple of weeks, then we had Mars in Aries, and that was trine to the Sun in Leo. And so that was really like bolstering Mars up a lot and giving Mars a lot of energy and a lot of vibrance and a lot of visibility as well. And so this sort of like really gave a lot of encouragement to the Mars dynamics. This week, the Sun has moved into Virgo. Mercury has moved into Virgo. Those were planets that were sort of like bigging Mars up a little bit. And then now Mars can't really see them from Virgo. from Aries to Virgo. Just can't really see that very well. And so Mars doesn't really get that kind of aspect from them anymore, and sort of just has to deal with Pluto and Saturn, who are malefic and sort of like contrary to what Mars wants to do. So this is a big dynamic. This is going to be going on for a while. So it perfects this week, and then it perfects again a little bit later in September. So this is just kind of the struggle that we're going to be working with for the next month and a half / the rest of 2020, more or less. So this is going to be, for a long time I was like, we're getting ready to do the thing, we're building up, or there's going to be a push later on in the year. This is that moment. Now is the time. We're pushing, we're trying to get stuff done. We are facing major obstacles. We are looking at big delays. We're looking at frustrations because we want to start the thing already. We want to get it done, but it's not happening. Why isn't it happening already? We're looking at this kind of impatience and a difficulty around obstacles and stuff like that. So that's going to be happening early on in the week, but sort of, ongoing for a period of time. Speaking of early on in the week, there's some fun stuff this week too. Venus in Cancer is going to oppose Jupiter in Capricorn. So this is just a little bit of fun. It's not super significant in the way that Mars square Saturn is. Mars square Saturn has already been taking about 2 months to build up. It's going to do this for another 2 or 3 months or whatever. Venus in Cancer opposite to Jupiter in Capricorn. We're going to get a day or so of this, but it's cute. So right now the moon is in Scorpio. The moon will be in Scorpio again tomorrow. And so Scorpio is nice at this moment because it has a nice trine sextile relationship to Venus and Jupiter. And so as long as the moon is in early degrees of the cardinal signs, or even something like Scorpio, then we've got this like nice dynamic here where things feel a little bit like better. There's something binding or cohesive around these two. Venus and Jupiter are benefics. They're the ones who bring stuff that we like. And so, most people like cohesion and unity and bringing things together and all this sort of stuff. And so we've got a nice opportunity to sort of lean into that a little bit. There's so much dryness going on between Mars and Aries in a hot, dry planet and a hot, dry sign. And then Saturn in Capricorn, a cold, dry planet and a cold, dry sign. There's so much dryness, right? Things want to separate, things want to sort of break apart, crumble, stuff like that, right? Venus in Cancer, Venus is a moist planet and a water sign. And so we've got a little bit of like putting some stuff together here a little bit, which is helpful. And so there's like a little moment here at the beginning of the week where we have an opportunity to sort of shoot at that, if that's what you're into, if you're trying to do unity and cohesion. If you're trying to do unity and cohesion, you're going to have a rough time for the rest of the year or so, right? That doesn't mean that you shouldn't shoot for that. It just means that it's an uphill battle, right? So if you're looking for nice skies with which to promote cohesion and unity, earlier on in this week is going to be a pretty good opportunity to do that with Venus and Jupiter opposite to each other. Then after that, once Venus clears the opposition with Jupiter, then it's going to be opposite to Pluto, which is, Venus opposite Pluto is pretty, it can be obsessive, it can be a little bit crazy, it can be jealous, things get a little rough for Venus after the opposition to Pluto. So earlier is better with that sort of thing. Although at the same time, Mars and Saturn are going to be, perfecting their square. So, things are a little bit touchy for some electional stuff on when to launch your product or, post your thing or, to launch your business or whatever, to make your stuff better, and to sort of like get to that precise timing. Check me out on Patreon. That's where the stuff is. So, and then the other thing that's going to be going on this week is Mercury in Virgo. So Mercury in Virgo is in exaltation. It's in domicile. This is a great Mercury. This is Mercury, which is doing Mercury things very well. Mercury has to do with communication, transmission, transportation, all this kind of stuff, right? Sending things, mail carriers, all this sort of stuff. So Mercury in Virgo is great at doing Mercury things until it opposes Neptune in Pisces. So that's going to happen on Sunday next week. But because Mercury is moving so fast, it's going to be an orb for basically the whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday or so. We're going to be looking at Mercury opposite to Neptune. So Mercury in Virgo likes to organize things, likes to put things into discrete categories and make things intelligible. Neptune is not here for all that. Neptune really strongly believes that it's all the one stuff. It is all the same universe. There are no real boundaries. It's all limitless. It goes on forever and forever. This can be a bit of a confusing influence to Mercury. Mercury prefers to be able to keep things apart and intelligible and filed away so that you can reference them properly. And Neptune is a little bit like a dream in that all the stuff is in this soup all together, and then it's kind of hard to remember the precise details once it's all happened. So this can be a little bit difficult on the Mercury stuff. This is going to be later on in the week. This is the weekend and stuff. And so so if you're really trying to do your Mercury stuff, you're trying to send something that's important, or you're trying to write something that needs to be prosaic or something like that, then again, earlier on in the week is going to be a little better. Now, if you're trying to do some journeying or some dreaming or any of this kind of stuff, let's also remember that Mercury is the psychopomp, right? And is the one who is able to move through the underworld and all the areas of dreaming and all this sort of like otherworldly sort of stuff. Mercury is the one who can go from the world of the solid to the world of the dreaming to the world of the gods to the world of the underworld and all this sort of stuff, right? The land of the dead. So Mercury, so if you are interested in taking some of those trips, right, you're not trying to do discrete information or sending packages or any of that sort of stuff, the prosaic stuff, but you want to take some of those like otherworldly journeys, then that can be a good thing to do in the end of the week, and you might get some good insight with that sort of stuff, like things like breath work and these kinds of things. You can get some good visions later on in the week for that. So that is all I have for you this week. There's so much going on. It is a really busy year and it's a busy time, and we are really doing our best to make the best of this moment. And so thank you so much for hanging out with me, and do make sure to follow me on Instagram and check me out on Patreon, where I do this kind of thing a lot and work with people to help with the tactical exercises in getting toward the lives that we want and the world that we want to create after this sort of chaotic moment. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll check y'all next time. See you later.